What's up, everybody? It's the 30's perspective. Hey.
Why did they stuck like that? Don't like it.
Like this? Oh, Brandon.
He's not
Are
stuck
you frozen,
though.
Brandon?
No.
Brandon is stuck on mine.
Brandon. He's not stuck.
Oh, he's not stuck. He looks stuck to me.
He do look stuck.
He ain't stuck.
Okay, so tonight's episode is, the rich versus the poor. We're gonna have that conversation. Los got a good hour for us, so we better get on it right now. Icebreaker is blast. Icebreaker is song association. So I'll be the first to start. This first one. So basically, I'm gonna throw out a word. You gotta sing or rap a song that has that word in it. All right. We got 10 words. And if we like the game, if we want to do another round, I got another set of 10. All right, let's do this. Number 1 is an easy one. The word is horse.
Damn.
The Old Town Road.
You gotta sing it.
I'm going to take my horse to the Old Town Road.
Big Mike.
He won. Why is he so good at this?
Oh, wait, I got another one that's even better. Sing a horse, ride a cowboy. Here we go.
I like that song. That's my jam. All right, number 2. Sex.
Let's talk about sex, baby.
There we go. That's what I was like.
Me.
My brain was like, which one?
I know, right? I got 1 point. I didn't think I was going to get a point.
You did. All right. Number 3. Believe.
If you
Believe I can fly.
I got it in first. I got it in
believe
first.
I can touch the sky. Turn every day. Sorry. I believe I could sing too.
Number 4.
Pass the battle.
Smoke.
Smoke weed every day.
Oh, man. I was going to say that one. Hey.
Uh-oh, Los got the vocals. Number 5. Money.
Money, power, respect. Money, power, respect.
Oh, that was almost a tie.
Who you gonna
Right.
give it to?
But lots. Money, power, respect. What you need live. Money, power, respect.
I didn't even get to hear Los's. What was yours? Which I know y'all start talking at the same time.
Lil Wayne, Money on My Mind.
Oh. I'll give both y'all points.
All right, cool.
Because y'all started at the same time. All right. Warm.
Warm. Oh, man. It was oh, damn.
Warm? Oh, no. Warm.
Let's think. Where you at?
There's got to be a Christmas song in there for warm.
I know, I'm sitting there singing Let It Snow in my
nice
mind.
and warm. Somewhere nice and warm is in there. My mind's blank. There's definitely a Christmas song with nice and warm in it.
I can't think of one song that got the word warm in it.
Warm.
A hard one. All right, since warm didn't work. Time. Number 6.
Time is running out. No, one. Time is It's a song. It's a song by Apollo 440. It's in the movie SWAT.
Los got it. He said it first.
He yelled out time.
That's how the whole goes.
Oh, okay, fine. You know what? I'm gonna start yelling the word out, and I'm gonna find a song that's fit.
He yelled out time, but you did too. You just gave an explanation after yours.
I did. You're right. I gave the song and the artist. You know, it needs to be song and artist along.
Yeah, the song.
No. Number 7. Stop.
Stop.
Don't stop.
In the name of love.
Here we go.
Oh, you baby.
Mama about to be DMX, yo.
Stop. Stop.
Drop.
Shut down.
Shut down. Open up shop. Yeah.
Oh.
That's a Rough Riders roll. All right.
Yep. Worst DMX impression.
Dance.
It's your chance. Do your dance. It's your chance.
There you go. That's one.
I want to dance.
Everybody dance now. All right, now my question is it song and artist? Who does this song and who's song and artist, man? You can name and make it up.
That's why I feel so big the one I did.
Number 9. Eat.
Eat?
Bitch,
All you can eat. That's the Fat Boys. All you can eat. All you can eat. Yeah, that's the Fat Boys.
Forgot about the Fat Boys one. All you can eat.
He knows the song,
Number
right?
10.
Yep.
Number 10. Night.
Night and day, yo. Day and night. Yeah, that's
Kid Cudi. Do I get half a point for that since ain't no artist?
Ain't no half.
What you say?
I get half a point.
Oh, now we ain't got to do it because you don't know it.
No, I can't. We're gonna get to it.
So do y'all want to stop there, or y'all want to go for another round?
What's the?
I want to do another round. What's the score?
Yeah.
All right. So far, the score is Brandon has 5, Los has 4, Alicia has 2.
Okay,
we can
Alicia.
stop there. That's fine.
That's fine.
We can start right there. That's cool.
No, they called the second round, so we go do the second round.
All right, let's do it.
All right.
Round 2.
Second round. Drugs.
Man. Every song has drugs in it.
Right.
Does it have to be a certain kind of drug, or does it have to have the word drug?
It needs to be the word drug or drugs. In any context.
Percocet. Percocet.
Right.
I don't know. Molly Percocet.
Did you what the future did? It's so funny that you can't think of these things.
Oh, I got one.
I got the Molly Percocet.
Crap, I have one.
No, it gotta actually be the literal word drug.
It will be.
Drugs in it, so.
Which, all right. So I noticed. I'm trying to remember how the lyric go. I know exactly. Don't move. I got you. Crap.
You can't be looking up words in the songs.
But I already know the song though, man. It's House on the Rising Sun by the Animals.
Sex, drugs, money, cars.
All right.
Alicia making up a song as she goes.
Now the only thing that Gamma leaves is a suitcase in the trunk, and the only time he's satisfied is when he's on drugs. That's
Brandon don't get no point for that. He's cheating.
Man,
I'm not cheating. I already said it ahead of time. I said it. Yo, it was a song and artist. I know that faster than I know the lyric.
Next word, number 2. Ride.
Right.
Ride or die. Ride or die.
All it.
Six flow and follow, chop it up with do it die. Do you like ride with me?
So y'all all started at the same
Going
time. Everybody get a point.
Ride. You can't roll no more. Yo, that's from the Biker Boys soundtrack. I know that one.
I gave everybody a point for that. Because everybody started.
It's like who's lining it anyways? Like everyone gets points, none of the points count. And, go ahead.
You do what you want. Number 3. Love.
Love.
What's
So
the
many
got to do with it?
got to tell you.
Hey, Alicia, you got. I know now.
I don't know. No. I can't sing. I don't sing. That is not my profession.
You know what? You know, girls will sing that song so strong till they get to the high note part, then they be like,
Wait, that's when you put the mic to the crowd.
right?
Right.
I'm
Don't
like,
sing it.
girl, you should sit down on that
Mic
one.
to the crowd.
Hilarious.
Number 4. God.
God is an awesome God, he raised from heaven with wisdom, power, and love. Our God is an awesome God.
Alicia killing it.
Yeah.
There you go.
Alicia got that one. Number 5. Hate.
You can hate me.
I hate you so much right now. I hate you so much right now.
That's my point.
Ah!
That's my point.
That song is funny as heck, Brandon. But Los got it because he was just a little faster than you. Number 6. Blue.
Oh man.
Blue skies. Something. Oh no, blue birds. Found something on me. There we go. Nothing but blue skies. Blue skies. What it is? Blue skies.
I don't know that
Nothing
song, but
on
I'll
me.
give it to you.
Nothing but blue skies. All I see.
It's a made up song.
That's
Ain't nobody know that
You
song.
done made that up.
I didn't make that up. Yo, 50 points if I can prove I didn't make that up.
Nah.
It's okay. I believe you.
No, we got some doubters in the house, man.
Number 7. Fly.
She's the flyest gangster. What you don't got is my natural glow. Counting out
All
stacks,
right.
counting out hoes. Push it through. I'm sorry.
All right. I had a song. But I stopped. I was like, okay, you got it.
Number 8. Mary.
I just want to
Will
get
you
married.
marry me?
Who started first? Was it Alicia? I think Alicia started first.
Alicia
Just
got it.
saying.
She's just a hair faster.
Man, I think you got a system delay on your end, yo.
Number 9. Do.
Do you
Do that. Damn. You got
love
Hold on,
me?
Real.
finish the song, Alicia, because I don't know. You're just making it up now. Hold on.
What did I say? Do that again? Don't try to start eating food now. Do it again. What was that? All I heard was do. Like, what?
You're just gonna start singing, do you, huh? Okay. I'll tell you.
How about do me, baby,
Oh,
like
right,
you
that's
never
right.
done before? There we go. Do some French in there.
Well. All right. Last one. Stay.
Stay with me, pretty baby. There we go. That's mine.
I think that's B's point.
Los, what was you singing?
I was singing that Black String.
Oh, okay. Well, Los was a hair faster.
Stay.
Who was faster?
Los was.
Man, I'm telling
You
you,
know
you
what?
have to have a system delay, man.
You know why? You know why they're a hair faster? It's because you guys do a dance with yours. So while you
Not
prepare
even
your
it, yo.
drink,
No, man, it's not even it.
I already said my word.
They want to get his dance ready.
gotta
I
make
gotta
sure.
come in on beat though. I gotta come in on. All right, 1, 2, 3. All right, 4. Zip. Right, I gotta come in on beat. Y'all just coming in wherever y'all. Whatever
No,
beat y'all.
listen, I'm not a singer. I know that is not my strong suit. That is not what I do on the
That's not
weekend.
shit.
It's cool.
So
It's for
I
fun.
just
So it ain't like you gotta give your best vocal chops while you doing it.
I just gotta just say it.
Ain't no
I
haircut,
believe in
swear.
style. Woo!
See, this part,
Right, so
yo,
Brandon be setting up the dance move, and y'all already.
yo, man. So then we should just. Hey, I'm cool with just saying the name of the song and the artist.
See, that's what.
I want you to still sing it, but
Well, then let me. We should have a buzz. I want to buzz in and then sing. Can we get a first buzzer and then sing?
You gotta buzz it in.
You gotta buzz
all right,
it in.
so right now I'll give you the score.
I'm
We actually
losing.
have a tie. We actually have a tie.
Between
So we gotta
Los
do
and
a
Alicia, it ain't me.
We gotta do a tiebreaker.
Los and Brandon.
Los and Brandon, they both have 8 points.
All right. Let's name
So-
song, artist, and year.
Wow. Brandon trying to get you out of here, Los.
All right. So the word is bed.
Damn. There's a stranger in my bedroom.
No, bedroom is the word. Wait, no. Bedroom's a different word than bed.
Is the word. Bed is the root word.
No,
of
bed is the
bedroom.
word. Bedroom's not the same word.
But
Now I'm trying to
what's
win
funny?
on technicality.
Well,
But you know what? Take it. Go ahead with your wrong word.
Technically, so Los won, even though he got the line wrong. There's a meeting in my bedroom, but we get the point.
But bedroom's not the word.
Okay, hold on.
It is.
You was
There's a
trying to give the Drew Hill song.
Right, how does the song go?
I can't remember it right now. What's the Drew Hill song?
Sleeping in my bed.
Oh, right.
Sleeping with my.
Sherelle, sit down again. We gotta get another word.
Well, technically, Los got it, but
No,
we
He
can do
didn't
one
get
more.
it. He said the wrong word. And he sung the damn
didn't.
lyric wrong
Another
anyway.
word. Another word.
All right, I'll give you another word.
Still gonna win.
Can I give the word?
You want to give the word? Go ahead.
Yeah. Caress.
Caress?
That's a hard one. Is caressing a song?
Caress is definitely in a song somewhere, but damn.
Think about it.
She already got a song in her head. That's why she.
I know, right? How many seconds do we go before we change the word?
All right, well, let's do this one then. Let's do hair.
I whip my hair back and forth. I whip my hair back and I whip my hair back. There we go. That's my point.
I was gonna do the word.
I like the stylish clothes you wear. It's just
I was gonna do the word between.
In between the sheets.
In between what sheets? What's that song? Who sings that? What
Isley Brothers. That was the Isley Brothers.
What year?
You know, what year? In between sheets was 1970. I want to say 78.
Before your daddy thought about
Before we go
You know
to
what I'm
Lowe's.
Oh, yeah, there was something. Maybe I'm wrong with the year, but I'm close.
Well,
Ron
technically,
Isley, lead singer.
technically, Los won because you don't have to know the lyrics. You just gotta sing most of them with the word in the right space.
And I should have won with the bedroom one, right?
We just did between.
He said I should have won with the bed word.
But
Technically, he won already. We just kept going.
Yo, but bedroom is not the word. Bedroom is a separate word from bed.
Why are
I'm not
you
getting into romantic.
Whatever. Fine.
You gave us your heart.
It's all right. It's okay,
That's
Brandon.
the crappy gift. Nobody wants heart. Look, think about what's his name, Mati, and the Power Ranger, or the fucking Captain Planeteers. They didn't want to be. Nobody wanted heart. Nobody wanted the heart ring.
I'm still thinking about caress. I don't know what song has caress in it. It gotta have the word kiss, probably. Kiss and caress.
Caress and breasts.
Caress always go with kiss.
Caress goes with breasts.
I feel like Anita Baker definitely said caress on one of her songs.
She's giving you that vibe.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe we'll figure it out before the
Love
episode.
should have brought you home last night. Should have been with. Nah, she don't say caress on that part.
But you know that's Tony Braxton.
That's Tony. Well, I thought that was Anita Baker.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa, dude. Whoa. No, that's definitely Tony Braxton.
I don't even know why.
Yo, if you don't hear yawning, it's not Anita Baker.
Why did I think, when I used to hear that song, I used to think they were saying homeless night instead of home last night. Like, I thought
homeless night.
She was talking about, like, night that was homeless. I was like, why is she talking about
Homeless night. Should have been homeless.
You should have been homeless.
nigga was Camelot?
All right, so let's get into it. Tonight's episode. All right, hold up. My computer's doing whatever it chooses to do.
Get your
Hey, yo, y'all heard they pushed back the Roy Jones and Mike Tyson fight, and now Roy's trying to back out of the fight.
Because he obviously ain't prepared for these hands.
He's not. He really isn't, though. But, like, they pushed it back from September to November, and then Roy's like, well, since y'all pushing it back, I need to be compensated for that time. Pay me some money or I'm backing out the fight.
Oh, he pushed.
It sounds like he's trying to punk out. It sounds like he's broke and he needs money right away. And he made a budget to get paid in September.
I mean, sometimes it costs money to train.
He already.
You gotta pay a trainer.
Money for.
You gotta pay a trainer and all that stuff.
I feel Terrell.
No, you don't. You're supposed to do like Rocky and find some like boxer that you beat to like be your new best friend and like go training somewhere.
Just train you.
Yup. Or you gotta find a boxer that Mike Tyson beat the shit out of, and he's motivated for you to get some revenge on him. See?
Mm-hmm.
I think he's just using this as a way to get some money, extra money.
He gonna try.
About right.
I think he's scared. He was seeing Mike training.
I'm more excited for Mike Tyson biopic than the Mike Tyson fight.
I don't know how you make a biopic this early. Well, at this point he could do it. The first time they made it, because Michael Jai White played Mike Tyson. I don't know how you be a biopic about someone who at the time was still in the middle of his career.
But that was like network TV's niche. Like, I feel like there was a biopic about OJ. There was a biopic about Tyson. It's like, if you did anything infamous, they just make a movie about your.
Yeah, but by the time they did OJ was already like in jail for trying to steal back his own stuff.
Was he? I thought they did one during the middle of his trial.
Did they do one? I don't know.
It was like in the early '90s, like right. Like
it must have went like Lifetime must have did something or something. I don't know.
I feel like it would be like channel like NBC or like Fox or some shit would do these movies.
Well, I don't think like Dateline counts.
But I want to say your girl got one too. The one that hurt that lady's knee, like smacked it with like a.
Oh, yo, Tanya Harding. Did y'all watch I, Tanya?
Yes,
that was a pretty good movie.
Yes, I watched
it.
There was
I, Tanya was pretty good.
Yeah, there was one on Lifetime.
there was a lot of fuckery though in that situation. It was a lot of shit.
Right.
I didn't see that.
She is the poster child for hating.
Yeah.
Yo, but at the
Like,
same
the
time
hater
though,
guy.
it wasn't even her. It wasn't even so her as much as her team. If you watch I, Tonya, the movie with Margot Robbie, man, it wasn't even so much her as it was the people around her that's doing straight up fuckery.
Yeah, like that
And-
was a perfect example of somebody that just doubted your ability and wouldn't even give you a chance to really compete. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they were just like, yo, she's so much better than you. We're not even going to give you a chance. We just
Right,
going
and
to.
that's how it started. And then, like, she had this one dude on her team that was doing too much, yo. Like, he's the one that attacked Nancy Kerrigan, and then he went out and bragged about it, and that's how they got caught. He was out, yeah, man.
It was on Lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Which one? The I, Tonya or like the other one they made?
There was a documentary where she was actually in it.
Oh, the actual doc. No, I'm talking about the
I was
biopic.
going to say, they just made one. Didn't they just make a remake of that recently?
Yeah, it was I, Tonya with Margot Robbie.
Is it on Netflix or something?
No.
It might have been on Netflix.
But it's definitely on Amazon. Whether it's free or not, I don't know.
Who got an Amazon password I could use?
I got one. I ain't gonna give it on here
Okay.
give it to all our fans.
Had a whole hood.
Right.
The whole hood gonna be on
my Amazon account. I was like,
Get you out of your shit.
what the hell?
All right.
Like, who bought this off of my car?
exactly what's gonna happen. It's gonna be the most nasty,
My card is
creepiest,
linked to it.
or it's gonna be the longest series ever. You gotta play by the episode, and they're gonna download every episode of like Seinfeld, like 14 seasons or some shit. And it's gonna cost you like $400.
So,
All right.
You ready, Sherelle?
We ready?
let's get into
So-
it.
Be ready.
Episode 14, the rich versus the poor.
Right.
So what does
Guns in the
it
butter.
mean to be wealthy? What does it mean to be wealthy? And then what does it mean to be poor?
I think it's all a mindset.
Is it a mindset?
Or three different.
Yeah, like I feel like you can have a lot of money and still be poor mentally, and you can have no money and still you can have like little money than like your average millionaire and still have like a wealthy mindset that keeps you in prosperity. You know what I mean? Like no matter what you're doing, like you always productive and things always kind of work out for you because your mind is wealthy. Like you think with a consciousness that's wealthier than most people. You know what I mean? Like,
Sounds like a poor person to me, and it's playing with you.
I'm
Rich in the mind.
No, like okay, imagine somebody that's kind of like middle class. You know what I mean? Like they doing okay for themselves. They're not rich, but they make moves. They make prosperous moves all the time. Like, and it's because they have like a healthy conscience. Like everything they think is prosperity. Everything they think is productive. You know what I mean? Like, so they're always in a state of being either balanced or possibly being in the green. You know what I mean? Like,
I feel it. There's definitely a such thing as a poor man's mentality.
and you got like imagine people that just come into money, like they don't know nothing about money, so they just keep doing poor people shit with it, and then be broke.
Right. That's why lottery winners are normally broke within the first few years after winning the big.
Like,
Speaking of
They
that,
don't know what to do with it. They buy like 27 Bengal tigers, and then
I know a few people who came into some unemployment money that should not have come into some unemployment money. And within like less than a week's time, thousands, like one person I know, and I know multiple, had like $10,000 and it was spent in 5 days.
I feel like she is publicly scalding someone, and only the other person know who they are.
5 days.
5 days.
5 days.
She's like, I ain't gonna say no names, but Somebody out there needs
I
to
know a
hear
couple
this.
of people who had thousands of dollars and it's in the trash of unemployment money.
Yeah, man. And
Now,
that's
here's a question though. Did they at least go out with a bang? Did they have like the most blowout, like hangover night ever?
So we see Brandon has a broke man's mentality.
No, I didn't say that. I just said there's some understanding with people who've done that. I'm asking you. Like, there's difference between you blew all the money and there's like no good anything that came out of it. Not on a positive or a negative. Nothing came out of it with any kind of good.
Well, I guess it
Now,
depends on the
or
individual.
you blew the money
what-
on something stupid, but you had the time of your life doing it.
like MC Hammer type shit.
Yeah.
Oh,
Mike
man,
Tyson
there
type
ain't
shit.
no excuse for
But
that.
then, how he spent his money really? Well, he shouldn't have did it that way. But it wasn't like stupid. If you know, you get what I'm saying. He should have made different moves. But
Yeah, probably so.
well, this individual this specific, because I know a couple people who, you know, but this specific individual that I'm referring to, you know, got a couple hotels, bought some friends some clothes and shoes, got robbed one, bought some drugs, and left out in the end. In the end, left out homeless and broke.
Yeah.
Well, so he has a nice little story to tell. That's what he got out of it. He YOLO'd his money away.
YOLO.
Straight up.
Yeah, right. Girl, you want to
I
come
don't
to
have
the
any.
hotel?
I'm not even going to touch the 10-foot pole.
Yeah, that was a bad idea.
Y'all ever blow
Man,
somebody?
No, and
Never
I've
blew-
come into money. Like I got hurt at work, and I got a nice little settlement from my job, and I was pregnant, and I wanted to take the year off to be with my daughter, so I took what the average salary is what it was, you know, the average salary is between like 40 and 50 for like that upper middle class.
Yeah.
So I had that average amount and I spread it over a year.
Yeah.
cool.
I ain't mad at that. Not entirely, but
That's
I
what's
was
up.
with my daughter for a whole year
yeah.
with no ifs or buts. And I was able to pay all my bills, all my everything, and I didn't have to get a job until the end of that year. Literally, it was.
Smart
I
moves.
blew a little money.
What was it? You mind saying?
Got some extra cheese in her whopper.
Well, to be honest, I blew my stimulus check.
Yeah.
Straight up, clothes and shoes. Like, I blew it.
You said fuck
Because
that. YOLO.
I had come into a settlement earlier this year from a car accident I was in. This lady rear-ended me when I was Ubering. And so I ended up making a nice amount of money. So I was able to make some repairs, you know, replace some things that I needed to be replaced. Like, I was able to do a lot of good stuff with that money. So then that stimulus, I was like, all right, I'm gonna do the stuff I didn't do with the last money I had. So I didn't buy like clothes.
Money came first, and then my stimulus money came. Thank you, Trump.
Yeah, so I was like, I need clothes and shoes. I'm sorry, I just need. I mean, it was really stuff I needed, but that's what I spent that money on. So
yeah.
Yeah,
All right. So we got Los's definition of wealth. All right, Sherelle, what's your definition of wealth?
Oh, wealth, I would say, is when you have enough money to take care of your kids and your kids' kids.
And your
And
kids,
their
That
kids.
long-term money.
and your kids,
Yeah.
kids.
Yeah, so that's
Kids.
my idea of wealth.
All
Like
right.
my grandpa said, you know, you gotta have money that you have that you never use. It's off to the side
Don't
somewhere.
touch.
Like, yeah.
All right. Alicia, what's your definition
Well,
of wealth?
wealth to me is a residual of something that will never go away, and it will be there um, without you having to do anything else to make your money.
All right. So for me, I think what sums up my thought process on wealth, Chris Rock made the analogy that Shaq is rich, but the guy who pays Shaq is wealthy. And of course, at the time, this was when Shaq was still playing basketball. But to me, wealth is beyond the monetary value of it. The things that you own and have the ability to control and influence is where the wealth is at.
Mm-hmm.
So that comes with the longevity.
Steve Harvey mentioned horizontal money. He said that's the money you get when you are laying down and you still receiving that money. Like
right.
Yeah.
When you're in a situation like where you're Bill Gates, where it actually costs you money to pick up $1 on the sidewalk, right? Like it costs him more money based on his time to pick up money he sees on the sidewalk. Like that's a new level of shit. Or how about this? I forget his name. There was a Russian dude who bought an American hockey team. Okay, and they said compared to his net worth, that him buying and owning a professional sports team, buying a hockey team, was the equivalent of a regular person, me or you, buying a candy bar.
Mm.
Yeah, that's some
$1 billion.
Yeah, like that's some incomprehensible shit of like.
Yeah, people don't realize how like I look at even like sports teams, like football teams. Like most people can't purchase a football team. Like it's way out of your means. It's way out of your means. But I look at, I take wealth, rich, and poor differently. Like rich to me is people who still have to get up and get that paycheck every day. I'm sorry, but the owner of Amazon never has to lift another finger a day in his damn life. Ever.
And his wife. How about this? How are you rich to the point where you get divorced? The wife takes half. Like your wife instantly is like in the top 20 richest people. Like instantly in like 10 richest people just because she divorced. That's how rich you are.
Right. She is now a billionaire.
Right.
I married wrong.
No. Damn. Oh, and it was only like 2 weeks ago.
Hey, you know what?
It's doing that time.
Stick by his side.
Still in the trial period.
That's nice. But you
but
you got Kanye lyrics for us?
Huh?
He got the Kanye lyrics popping off.
I know this dude's balling, and yeah, that's nice.
Too bad that thing ends with him leaving for a white girl.
I know, right?
So when we think about classism, is there a middle class?
Nah, not no more.
Not really, not so much. There used to be a much more distinct definition of a middle class. But part of that is because we have more millionaires than we've ever had before. So that there's definitely an upper class, and then the lower class is being kept to where they're at. So the gap is being always getting greater and greater between the poor and the rich. And the middle class.
And it said that around 79% of the millionaires that we have in this country started at zero.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy for real. Like when you think about like, because, like people just feel like being a millionaire is kind of unattainable even though it's really not like, you know, like
Really not.
saw something about like 7 figures is only $300 a day. You know what I mean? Like if you can make $300 profit or $300 revenue a day, then you made $1 million in a year. So, but it's like 79% of the billionaires in this country started from zero. That's very optimistic when you think about it. Like
it is.
You know what I mean? That's like that's better than average, just like almost a B. Like
it is better than average in terms of if you're in the millionaire class. But if you look at the population of America and how many percentage it has a millionaire, then that shit looks like you might as well just try to be part of NBA. Like, I mean, it's
but I'm saying I think that's why it goes to my initial point is like it had to start here. You know what I mean? Like it had to start upstairs first. Like if you could go from zero to a millionaire, then that means that all of that is most of that is intellectual property, discipline, sweat equity. You know what I mean?
Well, some of it is being in the right place with the right person with the right product or service.
Yeah. Right.
Like some of it's kind of, I'm gonna say luck, but it's like playing Monopoly. You roll the dice, and you have to make smart moves. But some of it is rolling the dice and landing on the right place.
Mm-hmm.
So, which is why I love the game. Now that you brought it up, though, do you feel difference between new money and old money? Do y'all know what that means? Like new money and old money, how that works?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, so new money and old money. What do y'all think? What's y'all thoughts on that? Because that is a battle amongst itself in the rich people, the wealthy people community. Is their new money versus the wealthy people who normally own some crazy shit that is just handed down to generations. Where your job is you're an heir or an heiress, like Paris Hilton, like. She just inherited, her father's stuff, and that's what it is. Mm-hmm. That's old money versus like new money. You said 79%. They made their wealth in their lifetime.
Yeah,
it wasn't passed down.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, what's y'all thoughts on that? What's y'all thoughts on old money? Because I feel that's the issue.
It's crazy. I think a lot of old money. We don't. Here in the United States, we don't have a lot of old money. Versus like, when I say that, and if you let me finish.
Oh,
what I'm saying is like, you got Queen Elizabeth and like you have like royalty with their old money. That's wealth to me. That's not rich, they're wealthy. Those are people, it just keeps being passed down from generation to generation. We're here in like United States, like we have it, like, there's the Carnegies and there's the Waltons and stuff like that. But
Rockefellers,
I feel that, Rockefellers, another one. Yeah. But I feel that when it comes to new money, the old money looks at them like they're chumps. Like we've been in the game a long time and we can make you go away if we want you to. And they control a lot. And I feel that and I look at even like our last presidency and I feel that old money made that happen. People don't believe me. I go with my conspiracy theory.
No, I believe you.
Old money made that happen. There wasn't enough new money around to stop that.
You expound upon that?
Huh?
When you say old money made that happen, what you mean?
I believe that these, like the Rockefellers, the Carnegies of the world, the Waltons, the Bill Gates,
the Vanderbilts.
I feel like with that, they made this happen. Like they put their money in endorsements and everything. They put the funds and the everything around for him to win. They put their influence on
their
him.
influence is extremely real. Like J.P. Morgan, y'all know him, Morgan and Chase. J.P. Morgan, at the time that he was alive, was so rich that when the country went into a financial recession, the president called him to get a loan to bail out the country.
You know what's crazy though? That you say Chase Morgan?
Yeah.
Because you know they're the ones that bring our drugs over here, right? Y'all know that, right? I think that's so funny. They're the ones that bring the drugs over on their cargo ship. And isn't it funny how not even like months ago everybody was enlightened by that, and all of a sudden it just went away. Then nobody hear nothing else about that cargo ship with all those drugs on it.
Or when you talk old, like it's a lot of nefarious activity with old money, like that.
Right.
What's that one Japanese bank? It's like HS. I can't think it. I have to do it for bring up the do my homework so I can bring it to the chat. But they was like they do a lot of money laundering. You know what I mean? Like a lot of those cartels and stuff use that bank so that they can wash their money through, and like they got caught several times. You know what I mean? And all they got was a slap on the wrist, having to pay fines. You know what I mean?
How you gonna catch the people that are at the top of the damn food chain?
Yeah.
The fuck, right? If they control everything, how you gonna catch them?
Right. They probably
everything that we like when we think of like movies and stuff, like this shit is real, and people don't think that it is. Like I don't know if you guys have read, but me, I'm all into listening to people's conspiracy theories and coming up with my own conclusion with things and just hearing people out. So I was reading up on that Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah,
and that whole mess that they got going on, and I'm like, they really like killed this man off, like him,
because he was embarrassing the hell out of shit.
Anybody who speaks on this is being threatened and killed. And it's like, oh, why? Because there are people behind the scenes, old money, that is putting together this whole ring, this whole child pornography ring.
Evil, man.
I'm just convinced that when it comes to women and children and this whole like conspiracy behind them,
dark web type stuff.
Oh yeah, that's
Pizzagate.
old money. I'm sorry, because that could be shot.
What's Pizzagate?
What?
Pizzagate. My mom had sent me some video about how like the old money, like what we were just talking about, how like there's a pedophile ring, but they use like certain words to describe what they're selling or what they're going to be doing. Like pizza is supposed to represent like child pornography, so like you might see it written.
I think I heard.
Wait a second. So when we were in school and they said having a pizza party, that means something else. Nasties.
Yeah, but that pizza thing is actually mad foul. So basically, like, I guess I hope this ain't too graphic for the podcast, but
it's not, man. Just be raw, be real with it.
Basically, like I guess when they sodomize these kids, there's obviously it's painful. It causes tearing down there, potentially blood. And so I guess like when the blood and their semen kind of like mixes, like it looks like this, like you're making a pizza. You know what I mean? Like that's what that pizza shit is about.
Oh, whoa!
I didn't. That's new information, sir.
Yeah, it's kind of foul, but yeah, so.
Yeah, it's just.
And it got real quiet real quick. Okay.
It's super foul.
No, like they even did that they were talking about on was that Wayfair, and how they were doing that description thing on Wayfair. It made me look twice. I was
they're like human trafficking through like the cabinets and shit. Yeah.
Right. It to you.
Explain what's going on Wayfair.
So in Wayfair, they had like missing and exploited children that were being so they had these cabinets that they had that were sell, like big cabinets, small cabinets, long
Yeah.
cabinets, short cabinets. They were taking the description of these cabinets, and they were the
Yeah.
lot number on it would have like their date of birth and what they were being described as on like the missing and exploited children's webpage.
Mhm.
So their birthday and their what was it? Their birthday and their number of like when they like on the website or whatever, and they would have that on there to correlate with that kid. So then the person would go on and look on Wayfair and they could see that this cabinet is this kid, blah, blah, blah. They can go on and look at the picture of it and then they can purchase it. And then when they purchase it, they would take that kid to that person. That was sick.
Fucking
It was
ridiculous.
sickening. Like I was like, oh my goodness. And it's
You order the
scary.
wrong cabinet and the whole kid come out.
Damn. That's foul.
Yeah, it's sickening.
It
Like
hit different when you're a parent too. Like I feel like a lot of this information I would hear and be kind of apathetic to it because it was just like, oh, I ain't got no kids. But like now that I'm a parent, it just make me want to fight the whole world.
Right. Because you have to be careful, like out here, like people are watching your kids, people are taking pictures of your kid, people are watching you if they want your kid. Like it's crazy. Like they were showing like up even at Minerva Mall, what they were doing is they had one person roaming the mall, taking pictures of these kids with the parent. And then when the parent and the child would come outside, they would attack them and take their child. I was like, that's crazy. That's like bold. It's like you really go in like in a mall, take pictures of people's kids. You're sending pictures to the person outside so they can snatch your child. Like that's scary to me. That's super scary. So like when I go out, I'm not on my phone. I'm not distracted when I have my child with me because I'll be damned.
Right.
You better just because we fight and we gonna fight.
Yeah, but they don't even want to fight. They want to do it smooth. They want to snatch your kid. Yeah, I mean, like
You know how you protect your kids from getting kidnapped? You chain them all together because they never kidnap more than one kid at once. It's too much to handle. You ever notice that?
Y'all
More than
see
one kid at
that
a time?
video? Did y'all see that video where that monkey drives up on a motorcycle and tries to kidnap that kid?
oh wow.
No. What? What are you watching?
Not the monkey trying to kill kids. I mean, not the monkey trying to take kids.
Okay, so like it looks, when you first watch it, you're not really realizing what's happening. You see this monkey, and it looks like when you first watch it, it looks like it ran up and then it's like getting in a scuffle with a kid and then goes away. But like when you watch it again, you notice that this monkey's on a little small motorized motorcycle and he rolls up and he tries to kidnap the kid. So like when you first watch it,
So
you're like, haha, look at this. This video's crazy, haha. No, he's on monkey's on a string. And he literally is trying to, he grabs a kid, like there's like 3 kids sitting there. He grabs the smallest one. I'm gonna send it to you.
Oh, and the dad.
So King Louis tries to take Mowgli, and
he doesn't get him. He loses the grip of the kid, right? And then like a dad kind of runs out.
I don't remember.
They're like Indian, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I saw it. Like,
but when you watch it like a second or third time, or when somebody calls it out, you realize this monkey has been trained to kidnap this child.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's foul, man. I mean, all for the love of money too, and I guess that's how we got started on this. It's just like, I mean, how could you cause that much trauma in somebody's life just for a little bit of money? You know what I mean?
Because people are sick, man.
The love of money is the root of all evil.
Right, because I feel that like, money controls the world. So regardless of what, us little people always going to overtake. Always.
Well, eventually it does happen. That's why we're having this discussion tonight, because I think the next civil war in this country is going to be rich versus poor, 99% versus top 1%, because we're tired of this shit.
But that only, like, I feel like a war to that capacity doesn't, like, okay, you might be satisfied in the moment, you know what I mean? But the real issue is just the selfishness and the lack of resources, and like just like the whole concept of capitalism in general, you know what I mean? Like the fact that you gotta starve because you don't fit within the dynamics of the social order, you know what I mean? Like,
very true. You gotta follow the rules. You gotta fit in to get in. Whatever.
Get in where you fit in.
You gotta do all that because, like, but see, so here's the difference, though, man. Like, they know that they can't control the 99% if we collectively decide to move against them.
right.
It was kind of demonstrated with the George Floyd protests. They know what to do with that a little bit. But those George Floyd protests, for the most part, are very disorganized. If they were organized, there ain't shit they could do.
Right.
And that's what happens with revolutions, which normally in situations like this, where there's a tyranny of the rich, those people normally end up beheaded and dead throughout history. Like, they rise up, they kill the people on the top that's doing too much with the money, and they redistribute the wealth, and the cycle starts all over again.
Right.
That's the issue, is that we're not organized enough. And they also, this is the smart part about America, they made sure to keep the 99% distracted.
Right.
And they distracted them with a lot of misinformation. They distract them with having us fight amongst ourselves.
Right.
Because I don't know if y'all have noticed that I've watched some documentaries recently. A really good one to watch, I recommend, it's called Hate Thy Neighbor. But in looking at, like, the racist people, man, the racist people are just as poor as anybody else.
Yeah, poor.
And we're fighting amongst each other, so the rich folks can sit back and chill because we're not even focused on them. We're focused on each other, and they keep on, giving us, having us buy stuff to fight each other. It's like, all right, so Alicia likes conspiracy theories, but this is not. It's less of a conspiracy theory and more of a factual situation. The Rothschilds family. You know the Rothschilds?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I heard of it. Yeah, they were a very famous family because they own the richest bank in the world, and historically they have funded countries to go to war. And what they would do is they would fund both sides, both countries. So no matter what, they're making money. Now those countries are fighting and killing and doing the dumb stuff, whatever, and they're just sitting up pretty, making money. Right. So that's the same thing's happening here. So they're having people at the bottom fight, and they're just fueling that. They're just feeding into that and just letting that be so they can continue being on top and in control.
Sitting over there like dance puppet.
Right.
Exactly. Like,
what was that? Was it Casino or Goodfellas? One of the two. They was running a racket, and one of my favorite lines from that movie is when he says, "No matter who wins, we win." You know what I mean? It's just like
the house always wins. So that's Casino.
Yeah, it's just like and people we just don't realize that it's all a game. You know what I mean? Like when me and Brandon used to always watch Dick Gregory, he would just cuss those people out. But one thing he was
all the time
consistently was just, it's a game. Like, y'all getting so upset, you taking it so personal. Take your emotion out of it for 1 second and realize that all this money is just a game. And the name of the game is to keep y'all distracted long enough so that we can keep our power dynamic the way it is. Like,
yeah, watching Dick Gregory videos, even though Dick Gregory's funny, but he talks about how much he doesn't hang out with entertainers or athletes, but he always knows all the most information about them. I don't get it.
Right.
I just look at it this
But Dick Gregory, from what I heard, was into some shady stuff too.
Yeah, he would have to be to know all the stuff he knows.
Man, but see, but all that stuff is like that, man. Like that's why I'm glad that at least you get to that conspiracy theory stuff because things like Bohemian Grove and how many decisions were made there, and the Pandora parties and all this stuff where big decisions are made by a small number of people in secret meetings, and we have no idea what's happening.
Right. Why do you think that because like I look at like what's going on recently. I don't know if you guys have read or are following or looking up. So Brandon, I agree with you when you say that like they're keeping us distracted. But has anybody noticed since Corona has hit that it's progressively like they're trying to control us more? It's progressive. So it goes from okay, stay in your house. Then it goes to like, oh, we're looking for a vaccine, and if we find one, it might be mandated that you get it before you can go back to work. Like, okay. Then all of a sudden now there is going to be a coin shortage, and that everything is going cashless. So with that whole cashless society thing, they can control and monitor every dollar, everything, every move you make. From here on out, they go cashless.
The reason why
they've already been making that move.
Right. Right. But what I'm saying
that is like it's like I got this and I'm talking on the phone and I got a laptop and I got 4 social medias. You know what I mean? Like they don't need like you're monitoring yourself all day.
It's all right. It's not about monitoring you. It's about having control over your assets.
Right. So it's not like me and my mom just had this conversation because she said the same thing. She was like, "You have a phone, they track you." I'm like, "Yeah, they do, but they don't know. They cannot track every dollar because not all of my money is made."
But they can control your spending. Like they're looking on your phone.
Yeah, they
look at the stuff that you. They look at the stuff that
you
can, and then they
not know what I had. What?
No, what I'm saying is like you heard of an SEO?
Oh, an SEO?
An SEO. Brandon has, I think. But basically, like every time you go on the internet and look up anything, they can control your spending habits and make it seem as if like the best type of captivity is the illusion of freedom. Like
it is.
As a human being, you're automatically going to resist tyranny because you're built with a certain consciousness to be curious, to explore, to want to be out of any restraints. So if it's obvious, you're going to automatically fight against it. You know what I mean? Like there's plenty of examples of that. But if they give you an illusion of choice, then you can basically you'll hold yourself captive. You know what I mean? Like when I brought up the SEOs, it's like you're on your phone searching all day and you're at liberty and you're searching, and then they send you these quote unquote suggestions, but it's really just controlling your spending based off of your habits, and you're in your own closure. You know what I mean? Like
we've all noticed that, where you search for one thing and all of a sudden all the ads happen to match that thing.
You don't even have to search it. You don't even have to search it. If you are around somebody else that was around a certain business, then it can come up on your phone. Like when I was at work, I went and got lunch at Arby's. My coworker was like, "Why did I just get an ad for Arby's?"
All you have to do is speak it now. You don't even have to like.
You don't even have to speak it. You don't even have to speak it anymore.
If you're around someone who did something and they just, they figure you're in their circle, you might be interested too.
Exactly.
They got
that's how that works.
They got
And they're going to set it up to where if you don't get this vaccine, you're not going to be able to make money and provide for yourself or get an education or anything.
Well, that's where the RFID chip thing comes in. You have the mark of the beast. Don't get the chip. And yeah, eventually they're going to try to make that mandatory as well.
I feel like
but I agree with Los on the fact that the illusion of freedom, and I think America has done, I guess, an excellent job, I guess, of doing this, because prior to America, control of another nation was required physical presence. They would physically conquer a country, and they would be like, well, now this queen is your queen, and we control you. And see, what America did very often is they didn't want to control the government as much as they wanted to control the commerce. So what they would do is they would set up things like McDonald's and things over there, and the people would fall in love with the stuff that we gave them, and then we would threaten to take it away if they didn't do the certain things we wanted them to do. So we provide these things, better ways of life. And all right, well, if you want to continue using these things, we need you to do this. And so we would control them without actually, like, physically being a visible presence. We would control them and think they have the illusion of choice when they really don't. And that's how we were able to have so much influence on a lot of parts of the world.
So as far as this vaccine, are y'all getting it or not?
I'm cool. I don't want it. I do get the flu vaccine because I've always gotten it, even prior to ever having like a real choice of my own. I was getting it. So like any new vaccine that's coming around, I'm cool. I don't know what y'all did to this.
How you know you ain't already chipped up? Like I just had my son in 2016. I mean, I feel like that technology would have been around at 2016. Like he probably already chipped up.
In the nursery, they got him already chipped up.
Yeah, I mean,
I never thought about that, but I don't know.
Listen, they held him in the hospital for another week after we delivered him. We wasn't even able to monitor him for a full 24 hours for 2 weeks. I mean, for like a whole week. So like, who knows what they did to my son while he was in the hospital?
True.
You know what I mean? Like, so I don't know. I just feel like, man, God is greater. Like, they can't. I don't know. I just feel like whatever plans they're devising, as human beings, it's never gonna really work. You know what I mean? Like, the only way, like, I feel like it could work is for us to hold ourselves captive. You realize, like, all right, think about all the shady stuff that has happened to you. At some point, you might have signed a contract for that to happen to you. Like, you might be mad at Sally Mae, but when you was 18 or 17, you signed a contract to be in that condition. Yeah,
all the terms of agreement that we sign away for all the social media.
My man Lupe said
those Rumpelstiltskin deals.
Yeah.
It's like Lupe said, man, the weapon of the weak, and when I say the weak, I mean like that 1% who want to control the world. Like, their greatest weapon is the weakness of your heart. When they find you in those compromising positions and you like, man, I really want to get an education, but I can't do it without this loan. You know what I mean? It's like, especially.
Well, they do that because they control the companies and organizations, and those organizations are requiring you to have a college degree or you won't be able to get it. So then they also jack up the prices on the loans. Because you can't pay for it yourself. They jack up the prices on your education. And a lot of people are like, well, the prices are going up, but the quality of education hasn't matched. What the hell are y'all doing? It's about making money.
And it's like they walked us to sleep with that for like 20 years. But now that we waking up to it, they got to find a new trick. You see what I'm saying? Like, they're not going to
be playing new tricks.
Yeah, but it's I don't know. I just feel like the human race is so adaptable that I really don't feel like there's going to be a way for them to control us without our consent. And that's their trick.
No, I agree with you. If it's not without, if we don't consent to it, it's short-lived. But that's where the talent of their creativity comes in. They find ways of giving the illusion that one that our condition is permanent. Like if you're born poor, you're going to be poor, and you just But also giving that illusion of freedom. I mean, think about this: the American dream. The illusion of freedom in America is that you can do and be whatever you want to be.
Yeah.
And you're supposed to strive towards owning a house and having kids and white picket fence, and you're supposed to do that. Like, your level of success is based off of those things. When most of those things that they talk about being successful fuels the big industries in America. So we're talking about America, cars, oil, the real estate business, like those. The American dream is all revolving around that stuff. Like, you ain't shit unless you got this. You need this, and you got to buy this other thing so you can get to that thing that we need you to buy. So you got to buy both.
Yeah, but I also think that a lot of it has to do with the cycle in which they keep poor people poor. Like, I look at like what they're doing now and how like they're taking the ghettos and they're knocking them down and they're putting up all these redevelopment plans, and they are, what you say, Brandon, giving people what they feel is the American dream: a house, a car, a nice job, but it's within your own area. Don't come out of your area. Don't you leave that area. We're going to put something nice there for you, but don't leave it. We don't want you out here in this side of town.
Well, they do that, so it makes it a whole lot easier for us to pit us against each other when you do that.
Right. And to control us in that environment. That's your environment. That's, oh, look what we did for you. This is what we did for you. You can't say that the government didn't help you try to succeed and get out of your rut or whatever you want to call it. But I just think that it's crazy how, like, we start to pick up on these things as adults and like as kids. And I think that's why, like, I feel that they gear everything more towards that, younger generation anymore. It's because us older ones snapped out of it. We snapped out of that thing that we're in, and now we know what's going on. That's why I feel that, like, the with this coronavirus and it's almost like it's targeting the older population. We got to get rid of them. They're causing too much in Social Security. They're doing too much. Money. Yeah, they do. We have all these retirement homes that are funded by the government, and like, it's like
the people that are high
get rid of them. Like, they're just living too long. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
So
think about so there. I'm trying to remember a comedian that said this, but thinking about this, how fucked up is this, right? Your average life expectancy is only a couple years past the retirement age. Yeah. So as soon as you're no longer able to work, you're supposed to die.
Want you gone. You gotta go.
Retirement age is 65, but the average life expectancy is like 68, 72. Right.
You gotta go.
So, right, you work and then you go on one cruise and you die.
Right. Right. And it's like, yeah, but that's the problem. People are living longer now. That's the problem. The life expectancy has gone up. So that's why they have moved the retirement age, and they keep moving it. Isn't that funny? It was 65. It is no longer 65. It is now 67. So retirement age is 67. By the time we retire, it's going to be like 80.
Right.
Hey, y'all want to live longer? Y'all going to work longer.
If we can retire, you know what I mean? Like, if we can. But I want to say
so funny to me.
The powers that be, whenever they play these tricks or whatever, a lot of times they remind you they are in some ways like reminding you of your strengths. Like imagine before the quarantine, anybody who had to stay at home and had to deal with their kids like 24 hours, or like you never would have thought that you could homeschool your kids, but you get thrust in these positions, and it just kind of just reminds you of like how adaptable you really are as a human being. And I feel like if we was to look at that differently, instead of looking at it like, oh, I'm thrust into this awkward position, or this I'm jammed up in this position where like I'm not gonna have no money, I'm gonna have to figure it out. If we would just look at that positively and be like, yo, I still made it. You know what I mean? It's like if we draw upon that strength, we wouldn't need these powers. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
but look, you got to remember, like,
and take
that
advantage.
works for the poor people,
Huh?
not the wealthy. That is an asset of poor people, not rich, not
right,
of the wealthy or rich.
I'm saying like if poor people just if we look at those as strength instead of just hard times, like if we looked at those hard times and really thought about the resilience that we have in those moments, our conditions would be a whole lot better, and we would be way less dependent on those powers. And then
And we have this chance to like teach our youth whatever we want to teach them about
right.
about health, about wellness, about racism. You know, we could really take this time. You know, we can take it and use it to our benefit. So I agree with you, Lois, on that.
Because the whole,
Speaking about education,
Black Lives
though. Speaking about education, about teaching our children what they need to learn about stuff and being on topic, have you noticed that there aren't any classes until college, really, that teach you about finance, money, or money management, wealth? Nothing. Like, there should be a class, a standing class in elementary school about how money works, but they don't even have it. Unless you go to college and take, economics and stuff, there is nothing. They don't want us to know how things
Credit
work.
cards work, or how to
None
get
of
a
it.
home loan.
I went to an all-white school, high school, so there was only at a time there was only 10 Black people in the school. But at that school, senior year, we did have one class, and it was called Life After Graduation. And they taught us about taxes.
I went to an all-white school. Nope, they didn't have that.
Yeah, I know most.
Nope.
That's why I mentioned that part too, because most
They taught you about taxes?
they talked to us a little. It was real, it was real brief. Little bit about taxes, little bit about getting your own apartment, little bit about getting a car, a little bit, it was just life
Right.
after graduation. They hit a few topics, and I know and I understand that most schools don't have that.
They don't
Most
do
schools
that.
don't teach
That-
you anything,
Right.
about credit.
Now
or any of that
that's
type of
that's more than most schools do, which is a good class to have. But like, they're not. Your class didn't teach anything about investing or stocks, bonds, ownerships, like how money works on the macro level and the micro level. Now, I'm
Well,
in
the only
economics,
thing
so I
that
got some of that, but like.
my math teacher did is he incorporated it into our math. Like he did like loan percentages. Like if you were to take a loan and the percentage is this is how much you pay on this loan. Or if you bought a house at a fixed or a conventional or a flex rate, like this is what it could be, this is how it would be with this percentage. But the rest of it, it was a lesson within a class. It wasn't like a class dedicated to it. So whenever we were learning about percentages in math, that he used that example for our percentages. But the rest of us is looking at him like, bro, I'm 17. I could care less.
Yeah.
The reason
about what my fixed
Like,
rate
I really
is
wish
going to be
I
on my
would've-
house.
Right. I wish I would have took in, because although we had the
Me
class, we were
too.
introduced to some of those concepts. But I was a kid. Like I was doing, okay, here's what you want me to fill this out. All right, I filled it out, turn it in. I'm not thinking I need to be taking this in for real.
Right.
you know the reason why though is is because knowledge is nothing without application. Imagine, Sherelle, if you, during that class, instead of spending the money that they spend on sending y'all to a field trip or whatever foolishness they spent your money on in that school district, imagine if they gave every kid in that class a stipend to actually invest with. Yeah, man. Imagine if they gave every kid in that class $50 to $100 and you could actually see the bread grow. Yeah, I mean,
Or
like,
if they would give you money towards your education instead of going on that damn field trip.
well, I mean, because like I said, education
then
is,
because you start out in life in debt. Like if you go to school after high school, if you go to college after high school, you automatically start off in debt. Period.
Right.
You do.
So, and it's like, okay, now I'm starting in the negative before I can even gain to see what life is. So you're already poor before like they're talking about, oh, well, you can only get rich if you get this college degree. And it's like, okay, well, I got to go to school because they're not accepting anything anymore. You're not going to make the money if you don't have the degree behind it. So it's like, okay, so for me to get this degree to get ahead, I got to start 10 steps backwards in the red in $60,000-$70,000 in debt, and then go forward and buy a house, a car, start a family. And it's like, bro, what? Like, this is so ass backwards.
A lot of people don't want to get involved because a lot of people understand that to be true.
Right.
Yeah, but I mean,
ass backwards.
they could give you money towards your education, but I feel like you could still squander that education even if it was free without real life application. Like I remember when I was in high school, even though Wilkinsburg was a terrible school, it must have been some type of program that came through and lend us money or something. But somehow people in my senior class, we all got to build our own personal computers and we all got to take those computers home. And I remember that being one of the most pivotal things in my life was building that computer. Now, could I build a computer from scratch right now? No, but I know for sure before that experience, I would have never thought in a million years that my hands could do something like that. You know what I mean? And like
that application is very, very
like it linked to me being able to like work. Like I worked in the tech field after high school for like 13 years off of just pure muscle and just my own curiosity put me into those fields. You know what I mean? Like, and the grace of God. But without that initial contact, like I don't even think I would have thought that I could do some shit like that. You know what I mean? Like,
so that's just like,
like
application is the same thing. He said the same thing with automotive, with cars. He said that he had an auto body in high school, and after coming out, he was able to just, out of the pure knowledge that he got just from taking auto body, that he was able to change his own oil, rotate his own tires, put in his own brakes and stuff. And he said he didn't have to pay for that coming out.
Right.
But
so to me,
that is so true. I wonder
like,
what the same path is that.
Go ahead. Yeah, I feel like it should be like less I don't know, just less like when I was taking geometry classes or physics classes, like it was so mind numbing because it was like, what is the point? Like why are you telling me this? But if there would have been some application behind it and I could have saw like, oh, you use geometry for these practices, I probably would have way better impact on my life. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Very true. That's why, now, I don't know we're in our 30's perspective, but, doing things like Robinhood or Acorn and doing investments and stuff, I kind of wish it was available for me to start that a lot earlier than right now to see how this works. But I do agree with the whole thing with the automotive, because I can, because I did that for a while, working for an automotive company, repair shop, whatever. And people don't normally know this. If you know how to change your own brakes, it's not that hard. You can get people to teach you. You can actually do your brakes for free. Like if you go to some place, it'll cost you $300, $400 to do a brake change. But you can actually do it for free because a lot of them, like the AutoZone, And Advanced Auto, they have warranties on brake pads. So once you pay for it once, every time you replace them, they refund the money. So as long as you do the labor yourself, changing brakes is free. It's completely zero money to do it.
Right.
Zero. But you gotta know how to do it yourself. It's not difficult, but not knowing how to do it, you're like, I ain't gonna even try to do it. If you did it yourself, a lot of that stuff can be very free for you. It's like,
I think a lot of times it's teaching you how to think. So I mean, the application would be so great. If they added that in, because it would stick with you much longer. But I think oftentimes they're trying to teach you how to problem solve and teach you how to think. And like, now, Lo, since you built that computer, now when you come up against something challenging, you're not going to step back from it. You're going to go forward with it. You're going to take time. It's going to, it's teaching you how to structure, how to,
you're less likely to outsource that stuff if you've already gone down the path of learning how to do certain things yourself and understanding that process.
I think the thing that was valuable about that course though was that everybody got to take their computer home. So you was more invested in the classes and all the processes because there was actually something tangible that you could take with you. So like if you were talking about like a home finance class, if they gave you $50 and at the end of that class you could turn that 50 into 200, you might be more willing to learn that process because there's something tangible that you can be like, okay, I turned this 50 into 200 with, the skills that they taught me, and I can do that again, like over and over and over again, like I can, that's an automatic stream of income for you now. Like if you don't got a job, you know that you could go through the stock market and gamble a little bit, based off of what you learned with the application, like.
Just this little stuff. It doesn't gotta be gajillions of dollars. Showing a kid they can turn $10 into 200. Yo, at least they know that is an option. They have some knowledge on how to pull that off.
But it's hard to do that because a lot of us come from families that have a broke mindset mentality.
Yep. And I'm telling you,
or they go into something illegal. So they talk about, we're gonna flip this brick. That's just pretty much the same thing as doing the stock market. Sure. You buy low and you sell high. It's the same, but one's illegal and one's not.
Right. And they create pitfalls to keep you out of being able to do legit stuff, too.
Yeah.
Of course.
Speaking of all that, did y'all see Master P? Have y'all been watching that No Limit Chronicle documentary?
Listen,
man, I
just say that I watched the first episode. I haven't got a chance to watch the rest of it.
Is it on YouTube or what?
No, it was on. I recorded off TV.
It is on YouTube too.
All right, I haven't watched Masterpiece since he had the golden ceiling crib, so I don't know.
So they have a No Limit Chronicle documentary of how Master P started No Limit, and then they also have one of Rough Riders, of how Rough Riders got started, which I am such a dweeb because I love these type of documentaries to see how these things get started, how one step led to the next, but Master P, he really had like a business mindset, and he's a mogul for real. Like if you don't have respect for him, you gain so much more respect for him when you watch it.
Just grunting on the mic, making millions of dollars.
But it's way more than that.
He put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into it. He really did. He really
I'm gonna check it out.
It was kind of empowering, and he said that like he got a lot of that from his grandparents and his dad, like because his dad lived with his mom and dad, and then he lived there because of the house situation that they had, whatever. And he just said that his parents grandparents just grinded, and he's like, I just watched them day in and day out, get up, go to work, do this, do that. And it's like, but honestly, I could say like that poor man's mentality, a lot of people don't know how to break that. Like they
You
do
gotta
not
first know that it even exists. Like I remember when actually it was my old stepmom. She made mention of that to me when I was in my early 20s. And she actually said, "Yo, you have a poor man's mentality." And I was like, I was really offended. I didn't even know what that meant. But until it was brought to me, I start paying a lot of attention to people who think like this and think like that. And what do they do when they want to be successful? And what are they,
Yo.
Sometimes it's not even something that you acknowledge or know about.
No, rich people use debt to make money. You know that? Like they use debt. Like what they'll do is they'll acquire a property and then they'll take out a home equity loan on that property, which is debt, but they'll use a home equity loan to buy another property that they rent to make profit. Like they use debt to make money. And that's what has to happen. But then again,
people don't understand when people that saying is real. Scared money don't make no money. So if you're not willing to go completely broke to make it work for you, you're holding on to useless money in their eyes.
You got to understand, we're going to talk about the guns and the butter, though. Like, from Baby Boy. Like, what are the guns and what are the butter? You got to be willing to go broke for the guns and not broke on the butter.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. People go broke for the wrong things. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're buying clothes there's not going to be any residual coming back on that. None. Zero.
Jewelry.
So, right. So your Jordan, your $600 pair of Jordans is not going to give you any residual. But if you I was reading that one thing, and this mom had said for 2 years straight, she saved her income tax that she got, and she bought her first property. And I was like, it was a duplex. And she said that just came off of she's like, most people take their income tax check. What do? They go and blow it, get tattoos, shoes, clothes, a new car that's going to last for 2 weeks. Like,
just YOLO it away.
Right. And it's thousands of dollars. She said literally she saved 2 income taxes. She did not touch them. She said she took that money and put it down on her first rental property. And to this day, she has 6 rental properties, and she said she does not have to work anymore. It's residual money coming in for her family, and she could be at home with her children. That was her main goal, is to be at home with her children. And I was like, that's the mentality. Like, she took what, I'm pretty sure she's a single mom that got kids, and that money could have been used. Those 2 income taxes could have been used on some new furniture, new shoes for the kids, new stuff that they need, but they don't need it.
That's the hard part about that. Like, cause making that kind of investment is hard. Like you said, those kids need shoes. Your shoes is running over. You could fix this problem right now. Satan is right there telling you to fix the problem.
Right now. Girl, just go buy it.
But you know what, though? If you look at the richest people, man, they don't dress super fancy.
Right.
And they don't do a lot of hard stunting. Like you said, they ain't stunting real hard. They dress real simple, man. Like, look at Adam Sandler, yo. He invests his money right. He walk around with regular T-shirts and, like, khaki shorts and like, flip-flops and shit. They don't do all that, man.
I heard somebody say they had some money. And one of them said, like, I know I'll be rich when I can get myself back down to a flip phone. And in that flip phone is only 3 numbers. He said, my wife, my lawyer, and my accountant. And he was saying, because, like, when you get to that point where you don't have to be connected all the time, then you know that all the systems that you set up for yourself are working And you know what I mean? Like the
Yo,
reason
that's real powerful,
smartphones
man.
is like we need these smartphones to stay connected to all the things we got working. But once all your systems are working, you can break it down to a flip phone and just be totally isolated from the world.
That's real well.
Are not on social media. They're not. They don't do it.
They don't have time. They don't care to do it. They don't have to. They don't have time.
They don't have to.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, it makes
That's
it more
that
dangerous,
real
more
wealth
vulnerable.
that Lowe's talking about.
Right. They go off to remote islands where there's no reception.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Y'all think Queen Elizabeth has a phone? You think she got a smartphone?
Probably not.
Exactly.
I want to look that up though, man. Queen Elizabeth.
Y'all watch Black Mirror?
Some other shit. Yeah, I watched some of it.
I don't watch it. I didn't like it.
There's an episode where there was a I'm surprised you don't like it because it's like mad conspiracy shit.
Right.
But
yeah, for real.
There's an episode where this guy, he's a social media guru. He's kind of like the what they call it. What's that guy that made Facebook? I forget his name.
Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah, he's Mark Zuckerberg of this universe of this universe. So basically, he's got all these people going crazy over his technology that he created. Meanwhile, he's on a secluded island and he's telling his assistants like, "Don't disturb me," to the capacity that they have to bring him like a cell phone on like a platter for him to even, you know what I mean? Like he doesn't even want to be bothered with a cell phone at all. Meanwhile, he's got the whole world connected, you know what I mean, through this social media app.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
dance puppets, dance.
Right.
Man. All right, so part of this was we talked about most of everything we're gonna bring up tonight. The whole guns and butter thing. What y'all feeling the guns and butter are for?
I forgot to watch the clip, Brandon. I'm trash, so break it down for me.
It's okay. All right, so the guns and butter phrase was one of the big messages of the movie Baby Boy.
Mm-hmm.
And Vin Rames talks to them about the guns and the butter. And he says, the butter are, when you buy. Well, first talk about the guns. He said, what are the guns? You like about guns and butter? What are the guns? The guns are things like real estate, stocks and bonds, artwork, shit that appreciates in value. Right,
all
right.
the stuff that Jay-Z raps about nowadays.
Yeah, exactly.
And then he's like, and what are the butter? Butter. The niggas with butter, they buy the cars, the clothes, jewelry, the shit that don't mean shit after you buy it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the mentality comes in.
How's the quote end?
Oh, really? Because
Yeah.
the quote is for
young dumb motherfucker.
right. The quote is what life's about, guns and butter, baby. Dumb motherfucker. He like walks out the room, and I was like,
I'm gonna watch it as soon as we get off of here.
What? You should watch the whole movie because part of the thing is Jody already is beginning to understand switching from butter to guns. Like it's kind of what the movie is about.
Monologue, is it a monologue when they have like that speech during the movie when he talks about buyers and sellers? He makes a really good point.
Exactly. That's what. So, to me, the message of the movie is about that change, going from a boy to a man, going from butter to guns. It's just that Vin Rames packages it for the audience as to what the breakdown is for this movie. But
have to watch this
Tyrese is already, Jody is already on that tip of he's realizing the importance of ownership and entrepreneurship and making money for this. And he's even trying to teach Omar Gooding, listen, this is how this has to work.
Which was a good metaphor too.
Yeah.
Because that metaphor basically says not everybody could go. Like everybody's not mentally ready to go with you.
Right. And all he had to do was sell one dress.
Right.
All right, I gotta watch it again because I hate that movie. I don't know.
You got it definitely got messages in
about
there.
that movie.
And the
Ever.
soundtrack's not bad either.
Baby boy.
I have the soundtrack. It's
Never
not bad.
cared about
But
that movie. Like I was
but
like, why does
Sherelle-
everybody care? I'm sorry. I'll watch it again as an adult. Maybe it'll hit different. Just like Moesha
Watch it,
hit
it's
different.
gonna
I
hit
used
different.
to love that. Now
it's going to hit different.
yeah, stuff hit different when you grown. Like I said, that Moesha,
It
I used to
does.
love it back then. Now I think she's a butthole. So maybe I hated baby boy.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll
Well,
like it
Moesha's
now
a
that I'm
toxic
grown.
friend. Moesha's a toxic
She's
friend.
a jerk.
The worst. Yeah, the very worst.
Moesha's a toxic friend. But like Baby
like
Boy
actually-
starts off talking about the mentality. Like we have this child mentality. We call our friends our boys. When we're at the house, we call it the crib. Like we have this boy-child mentality
What do he call his
as
woman?
adults. Mama's your woman is mom. You know what I mean? That's right. Like that. See, and the whole thing is about him transitioning out of that and becoming a man. I mean, the opening scene is Tyrese in a womb,
Cutting
full-grown
the
man in a
umbilical
womb.
cord from.
Yeah, I hate that movie. All I remember is Jody.
You got to get.
Yeah,
It's all metaphors. Like John Singletary made a masterpiece with that for real. Like
Singletary.
Singleton. He made like a lot of metaphors that's super deep in that movie.
Yeah,
Like,
for real.
Maybe I was too young, and I did not go into watching it with the mindset that I would get anything from this. So
okay.
I'm gonna
Right.
rewatch it.
Because it's just showing how a boy from the hood is growing up into a man. And
You have
how
a lot of
those same
realizations.
things that you wanted as a boy is not what you want as and need as a man.
And
Like,
hold up, Sherelle, you love the Bible and all that stuff. What's about putting down when you became a man, you put down childish things? What's that one? I know you go ahead and quote it. I know you know it.
Look, Brandon, just because I'm a Christian don't mean I'm a Bible scholar, but that is the scripture. When you become a man, you put down. When you're a child, you put down things.
So, therefore,
like,
this is a very Christian movie. You should watch it again.
Oh no! Now you took it too far.
No,
Right.
black people love church and stuff. No, he's putting down childish things.
As a child, I spoke as a child.
And he did. Jody's making bicycles and model cars, like child stuff you don't do as a kid. And then
this is gonna be like being at work watching this again. Like, and it used to come on. It used to come on TV all the time, and I used to be like, bruh.
No, watch it again. My favorite quote is Ben Rames, like, "You want some eggs?" Fucked up. See, like they laughing. It's a fucked up scene. It's a fucked up scene. Y'all know it is.
I got all the worst out of that
just
movie.
Because,
so maybe
would you eat them eggs? Would you eat the eggs?
No, see that right? That's
would you eat the eggs?
He just got finished banging the fuck out of his mom. He's
exactly.
cooking eggs,
and he's butt naked.
Don't know if he washed his dick. Don't know if he washed his hands. Nigga just make
you don't know. You don't know. He just cream pied your mom. He's butt naked in the kitchen.
So, Brandon, you didn't answer my question. Would you eat the eggs? Would you eat
Will I eat Vin Rames' naked eggs? No. I cook my own egg.
That part was super dynamic because it's like he was not as offended as he was. That was his mama's house. He couldn't say shit.
He couldn't say that. Right. Her boyfriend's there, like dick in the frying pan making eggs. But what you gonna say?
Can't say nothing.
Can't say shit. Get your own plate. If you don't want
my favorite part is when he takes him down. Talk about what you gonna do. Scream for your mom.
Oh my God.
Oh.
He said, "You a man, Jody."
You could write a different about that movie, yeah, for sure.
It's just there's a lot because I just like how this mentality of this young man that thinks he's a man and he's not, and how he starts realizing the things that he's doing is
just
interrupting in
like when his first baby mama first like really check his whole ego, and she's like, yo, when I want to get with a little boy, I might call you type vibes. I was like, sheesh.
Yo, for
Like,
real.
exactly. So it's like to see him go from, you know, that to it's like, you ain't no man. Jody, you ain't no man.
Right.
What
It's
you
a
gonna
whole
do?
thing.
Hit
It's a
me?
whole thing. And then, of course, my
All
other
right,
favorite
I'll
quote
check it
is
out
"unstable
again.
creatures." Where
Whenever
Omar
I
Gooding
see
is like,
that placenta, I'd be like, I'm turning from this. It'll be
but
over.
that's the whole vision. Listen, you
I
missing
mean, I
the
get
vision.
that. I get that much. I'm not like slow or nothing. I get that much. It's just I'm over that dango movie. But like
Well,
I
all
said,
right, let's try it again
you know,
with a different mindset.
yeah.
And yeah, all right. The soundtrack's not bad. The soundtrack's pretty good. Bootsy
Yeah, I had no
Collins,
problem with
36
the
Mafia.
soundtrack.
Soundtrack's pretty good. Yeah, the unstable creatures. I ain't gonna say the B word. I'm gonna say unstable
I
creatures.
could deal without Snoop Dogg's character. He was creepy as fuck.
Well, Snoop Dogg played himself. What you don't say?
I'm
Like,
talking about Rodney, just like the whole vibe of Rodney. He was just
well, of course, Rodney. Yo, like Snoop Dogg's like pissed off face just looks creepy as fuck. What I was say, like he's just angry as fuck that entire movie. He just is like, you know, I don't know.
So,
But yeah,
we got any
Simple.
final thoughts on wealth, power, poor, anything?
it's
Definitely
all
have thoughts on being poor.
in the mind.
It is a mentality, but I think a lot of times people don't know what they don't know. They don't know the steps it takes. They feel that things are so far away that there's like, you know, a million steps to get there, and it really isn't necessarily that complicated. And I think people need to really take a look at just some of the small stuff that can be done to really improve the situation.
And it's only small stuff, man. I heard a quote once say that, you know, the ocean might seem devastating, but it's just drops of water. You know what I mean? It's just like just contributing your drop. Like you just gotta keep dropping before you know it, you'll be that body of water that you want to be. Yeah, you know what I mean, like,
right. That's why I love that story. Alicia talked about. She saved 2 income taxes, 2 years, 2 income taxes. She bought a rental property that snowballed into 6 rental properties, and now she ain't got to work no more. Just 2 years of money that wasn't even like part of anything. Like that was like extra shit.
Almost free money.
Right.
She had to work for it.
Right. But it was, you know, she took it and she invested into something.
Right.
I don't know. I commend her on that because not a lot of people have that mentality to think that, you know, this residual is going to come back, and people don't have the vision or see, you know, something that's not physically there yet, and how it takes time to develop.
So I need everybody to watch Big Boy this week and understand the difference between guns and butter, and go for the gun.
I'm gonna check it out. I don't know if I'll do it this week. I think that there's, like you said, it's in the mind, but it's in the spirit too. You could be physically broke but spiritually rich, and I think being spiritually rich will aid in, you know, you having that mindset of like you said, Los, that quote you gave us, you know, kind of it's just drops of water, you know. You already have that ocean already.
Right. And now you just gotta pour it in the world. Yeah.
So you're waiting for it to manifest itself. Chronos versus Kairos type of situation where it's already there in the spiritual realm, and we're waiting for it to manifest in the physical realm. So I think that's
gotta get past your fears. That whole scared money don't make money. You get past the fears, man.
Yeah, and it's hardly ever what it looks like. Like you could be in a situation where you're physically broke, and say you wanted to go somewhere, there was an opportunity, but you decide not to go because you're broke. Well, sometimes I've had situations where I went when I was broke and I end up making money there. And had I stayed home because I'm physically broke, had I stayed home, I wouldn't have made the money that was already there waiting for me because I was basing my life off of what I see.
Showing up is a big part of it.
Steve Harvey
Showing up is
said
huge.
Steve Harvey
What'd you
said
say?
that. Steve Harvey
Said what?
said that.
Oh yeah.
He was talking about his life. He was talking about how, like, you know, he was broke in Florida, broke.
He's sleeping in
And
his
he
car.
Trying to get to
Right.
the or
He
something
said-
like that.
He said he got a phone call, and he had a phone call that he needed to be in New York in 2 days to audition for the Apollo, to be the host for the Apollo. And he said, I don't know if I can make it. I ain't got no money to get there. Like, I ain't got nothing. And he said he didn't take that as his last. He couldn't accept that. So he said that it wasn't 2 days, it was like a week. He had to be there or something like that. He said he took a couple gigs, got a couple dollars, and got it all together. And he's like, he got to New York and he ended up, that was the biggest break in his career that made him who he is.
Yeah.
You know what?
I feel like he even won a comedy competition. There happened to be one in the city or something that he went to, and he won it and he made the money. Like, so you can't just move off of what you see.
Right. But I mean, but a lot of people don't want to can't and won't step out on faith because they don't see it. And with that broke man's mentality, it's like, oh, I have to take care of the here and now. I can't save my money because I have X, Y, and Z that I need to take care of. I know I'm guilty of that. Sometimes where I'm like, I could wait to buy it, but it's like, no, I'll just buy it now and I'll have it. And then I'll save my money, but then something else will come up. And then it's like, it's like a repeating cycle. And it's like, oh, okay, I could have got myself out of this situation. I didn't really need that. I wanted it and I kind of needed it, but I could have went without it. I could have went without it for a little bit longer, but I decided to go and take it anyways.
Yeah,
So
that's a discipline that, to have, actually. It's a real thing.
Yeah, like I always bring everything back to my music career because I mean that's my man and my child. But anyway, like I was I'm telling a couple people I know to like invest in their own equipment because they're struggling. They're depending on other people to come.
They're shipping control.
Yeah, like they're depending on other people to bring stuff and have equipment that works. And like the person doesn't want to do it because they have bills to pay. But I'm like, if you just put on that initial $20, they're gonna sit. It's a play as you pay. So once you pay that 20, you'll do your gig. Your quality of sound will be better. It's gonna open you up for more gigs. Then you can sell your equipment. You can rent your equipment. You can, like I said, you can become a DJ now. It's gonna eventually open you up to
Saves
more
you money because you ain't gotta bring those people with you that have that equipment. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So if they can just get their mind, that focus off of these bills, because these bills gonna be here whether you buy this equipment or not.
Yep, those are the guns.
Right. So
I'm gonna make Sherelle love this movie. She gonna love Baby Boy.
I'm not gonna love it, but I will be mature enough to rewatch it now that I'm older. Because I was just watching it for all the hood stuff, and I was like, oh my God.
It's the wrong, looking at the wrong stuff.
Look, and sometimes the hood stuff is entertaining, but then after you watch it a million times, it keeps coming on BET. It's like, I'm over this movie.
I feel like Baby Boy is the perfect when you like the one thing that happens to Tyrese is he literally stop blaming people for his circumstances. Like he gets to a point where he's like, yo, my life is my responsibility. Like I have to make this shit happen.
So there was a
Right, which is why I like Omar Gooding's character being the friend who's still stuck in that mentality to play against him in that situation where he can see, you know what, I'm actually making growth away from that and towards where I need to be.
So there's a greater purpose here for that movie. All right, I'm gonna check it out.
All right, let's do that.
You do
I
that.
am sore, so I'm gonna lay down.
All right, let's do this. Let's wrap it up, man.
All right, we got B Mike. We got Alicia Page. We got Lauren Shields, aka Los.
It's Los with the most.
I holla.
Bye, y'all.
All right, y'all. 30's Perspective. Make sure y'all like, share, comment, all that. All right. I'm trying to go ahead and push it as far as we can.
Do something good.
Right.
All right, y'all.